Morning Year 6 and welcome to Monday's reading lesson. Today we're going to start our new novel called Cloud Busting by Mallory Blackman. First of all, we're going to look at the front cover. What do you think this book will be about and what type of genre do you think it is? Remember, there are lots of different genres such as horror, thriller, fantasy, action, adventure, historical. So what do you think this book will be about and why? What do you think cloud busting means? Pause the video now and answer the first question on your worksheet. Excellent. Now you've made your predictions, let's have a look at the blurb. Once we've read it, think about, now you've read it, does it change your opinion on what the book will be about? Davy is the new boy in class and Sam can't stand him. He thinks Davy is a grade A moron. But when the two are thrown together, Sam discovers that Davy's eccentric way of looking at the world makes life a lot more fun, until the day something terrible happens. A funny and moving story told completely in verse. If we look here as well, they've included this quote, "I've got fizzy feet." Why do you think they've included it and what do you think it means? Pause the video now and answer the second question on your worksheet. When you're ready, join us back. Fantastic. So now what I'd like you to do is read chapters 1 to 3 of Cloud Busting. You can read along with me and the video is on our YouTube channel in the playlists folder. Once you've read chapters 1 to 3, come back and join the lesson. So you've read chapters 1 to 3 and like it said on the blurb, they're all in verse. So we're going to answer some questions, quick questions about what we've read so far. So the first one is, why do you think the author questions that pets come first? He says, how pets come first. Why do you think he says that? Pause the video and answer the question, then come back so we can discuss the answer. Great, so what did you put? Well, the author questions that pets come first because usually you'd put a family member in front of, or a friend in front of a pet because it's an animal. So that could be why the author questions that. However, once we've got pets, sometimes they become like family members and someone you love and trust. Let's look at the next question. Why did Mr Mackie smile? So let's read it. In your mind and in your heart and in your soul, even if there are no words being sung or spoken, it still creates poetry inside you. And we all went quiet, thinking. And the strange thing is, no one laughed. Mr Mackie smiled. Any questions? Hands shot up. Pause the video now and answer the question as to why did Mr Mackie smile, and then come back so we can discuss the answer. Welcome back. I wonder what you put. Well, if we look at what happened before Mr Mackie smiled, he introduced poetry, the children weren't very happy with it, and then he started talking about what they could write and how they could let their creativity come out, and they were all thinking. So Mr Mackie smiled because he knew he'd got through to them. He knew he had enticed them into being creative and wanting to write poetry. What did you put? So the next question is, how does the author feel about Alicia? And what makes you think that? So the bit about Alicia in the poem is, and on my left, Alicia, a name like April showers dropping gently onto spring flowers. Not that I'll leave that bit in about Alicia when I hand this poem to Mr Mackie. No way. Okay, so reading that, how do you think the author feels about Alicia and why do you think that? Pause the video to answer the question and then come back so we can discuss the answer. Okay, so if we look at these couple of verses talking about Alicia, he doesn't just say her name, he spells her name out. And then if we look here how he's described her name, a name like April showers dropping gently onto spring flowers, suggests that he thinks that Alicia is quite nice and he likes her because he's described her in a very nice way. We also know here that he doesn't want anybody else to know that. And we know that because he says he's going to leave this bit of the poem out when he hands it in. So he might be a bit embarrassed that he likes Alicia. Okay. What do you think has happened to Davy and the class bully? Where do you think they have gone? So this is your opinion, and I'd like you to form it based on your opinion, anything you've read in the text, and any examples or experiences you may have. Once you've finished, come back for the rest of the lesson. Okay, so your solo task today is to write a haiku about the story so far. So in chapter 3, we were introduced to haikus. A haiku is a poem that has 3 lines. On the first line, it has 5 syllables in. The second one has 7 syllables, and the last one has 5 syllables again. Can you remember what a syllable is? A syllable is the sounds in the word. So for instance, you could clap them out. So if we look at the first line here, what's one of them, sir? We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each separate bit is a syllable. You can clap them out. We could say senses, and we've got 2 syllables in just that word. So the second line has poems, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, senses. And then the last one is 5 again. Plus they are very short. Plus they're very short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So think about what's happened in the story so far and what do you know? And you've got to write a haiku about it. I'm looking forward to reading these haikus on when I get your work learning packs back next week. So let's have a go together. So because we've only read 3 chapters, we don't know much about the story. We know that there's a boy called Davy. He's gone somewhere and it's the class bully's fault. So I'm going to use this to write my haiku. Let's go. Let's have a think. Davy, the boy, has vanished. Too many syllables. That was 7. Davy has vanished. Oh, that fits. So there's our first line. Davy has vanished. We need 7 syllables for the second line. Nobody knows where he has gone. 8. So that's too long. To where nobody knows. That's 6, too short. To where no one really knows. Okay, that's 7, so we can fit that in. To where no one really knows. Can you see how I'm trying a sentence, counting the syllables, and if it doesn't fit, I'm trying again, trying to shorten it or lengthen it. That's what you've got to do. It's a bit of trial and error getting the syllables right. Davy has vanished to where no one really knows. So we've put that he's gone. We don't know where he's gone. Now I'm going to put a line about whose fault it is. The bully made him nope, too long. It's all the bully's fault. Too long again. It's the bully. I've got it. It's the bully's. Don't forget your apostrophe because it's possession. It's the bully's fault. So let's read it. Let's check. Davy has vanished to where no one really knows. It's the bully's fault. So year 6, over to you. Write me a haiku about the story so far. See you tomorrow.